The Indo-Pacific was stunned by a decision that few saw coming, sending shockwaves through diplomatic and military circles across the region. In a move that caught even seasoned analysts off guard, the Philippines rejected a $5.5 billion F-16 deal with the United States, abruptly halting what many believed was a done deal. For months, the acquisition of America's top fighter jets seemed all but certain, a powerful symbol of deepening U.S. Philippine ties, especially as regional tensions with China and other neighbors continued to rise. The F-16s were to be the Philippine Air Force's leap into modern air power, promising to transform its capabilities and serve as a clear deterrent to potential adversaries in the contested South China Sea. But the sudden announcement from Manila's Department of National Defense was a shock, signaling not just a pause, but a major shift in the alliance's trajectory. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. confirmed the swirling rumors. After months of careful review and internal debate, the government would not proceed with the F-16 Block 7072 purchase, citing concerns that went beyond just the price tag. Journalists and defense watchers were blindsided, scrambling to interpret the implications and searching for clues about what had changed behind closed doors. The decision upended years of expectations, raising urgent questions about the future of the U.S. Philippine alliance and the country's broader defense strategy. This wasn't just a procurement issue, it was a declaration of new priorities in Manila, reflecting a desire for greater autonomy and a careful reassessment of national interests. The F-16s were meant to crown decades of U.S. Philippine military alignment, a partnership forged through shared history and countless joint exercises. Instead, their rejection sent a message of fiscal caution and strategic independence, as Manila weighed the enormous cost against other pressing needs and considered alternative defense options. The timing, just before a major U.S.-Philippine security dialogue, made the move even more dramatic, casting a shadow over upcoming negotiations and signaling a possible recalibration of the alliance. The world was left to wonder, what changed? And why did Manila walk away from its biggest defense deal ever? Was it budgetary pressure, shifting geopolitics, or a new vision for the country's future? The answer would not only reshape the region's security landscape, but also redefine the Philippines' role in the Indo-Pacific's unfolding story. The F-16 deal was more than an arms sale. It was to anchor the next era of U.S.-Philippine defense cooperation. For the Philippines, it promised a leap in air defense and a credible deterrent in the West Philippine Sea. For Washington, it was proof of alliance strength and a signal to China that U.S. partnerships had teeth. The $5.5 billion package included jets, radars, missiles, and training, the largest defense project in Philippine history. Its rejection wasn't just a lost sale, it shook the foundation of a shared vision for regional security. Both sides now faced a new reality. The alliance would have to adapt. News of the rejection triggered shock and debate across the Philippines. Defense circles saw it as a blow to modernization. Social media buzzed with disappointment in the hashtag #SayangAngF16. Politicians demanded answers, some fearing a pivot away from the U.S. Yet, nationalist and fiscal conservative voices praised the move as responsible, arguing the funds were better spent elsewhere. The decision exposed a deep divide. Should the Philippines prioritize advanced weaponry or economic stability and independence? The debate shifted from jets to what kind of defense posture the country could truly sustain. The government now faced the challenge of uniting a divided public behind a new strategy. The main reason for rejecting the F-16s was cost. $5.5 billion would strain the Philippines for decades. Defense planners warned the price would divert funds from education, healthcare, and other military needs. Manila also wanted to avoid over-reliance on U.S. technology, seeking more control and flexibility. The F-16s required massive infrastructure and training investments, raising doubts about sustainability. Instead, the government chose a pragmatic path, platforms easier to operate and maintain, and a shift toward distributed, asymmetric defense. The move wasn't about abandoning defense, but about building a force that fits the country's needs and resources. The government moved fast to explain its decision. Defense Secretary Teodoro called it a matter of fiscal responsibility, not a rejection of the U.S. or the F-16's quality. Manila reassured Washington the alliance remains strong, but priorities must balance defense with economic needs. President Marcos Jr. described the move as painful but necessary, emphasizing a vision of a modern, self-reliant military. The government outlined plans to invest in a mix of affordable fighters, missile systems, and drones. This detailed explanation helped shift public debate from disappointment to a discussion of smarter alternatives. The message: the decision was deliberate, analytical, and aimed at maximizing defense value. Manila's decision sent ripples across the Pacific, drawing immediate attention from both regional and global players. The U.S. expressed disappointment but affirmed respect for Philippine sovereignty and its independent choices. Regional neighbors saw it as part of a trend, middle powers asserting autonomy and actively diversifying defense partners. China quietly welcomed the move, seeing it as a potential weakening of U.S. influence in the region. The global arms industry took note. Buyers now demand affordability, sustainability, and technology transfer. The era of unquestioned big-ticket arms deals is fading. Countries want more value and greater control. The Philippines' choice signaled a new, more discerning era in global defense acquisitions and partnerships. After the high-profile rejection of the F-16 fighter jet deal, Manila responded by unveiling a bold new defense blueprint. This strategy is built on three pillars: diversification of suppliers, strengthening the local defense industry, and a focus on pragmatic, cost-effective spending to maximize every peso. The plan is to acquire more affordable, yet capable light combat aircraft from trusted partners such as South Korea, Sweden, and Turkey, opening the door to a wider range of options and technologies. Future defense deals will require not just buying equipment, but also technology transfer and local co-production, laying the foundation for a robust domestic defense industry that can support the country for years to come. The focus now shifts to anti-access, area denial strategies, deploying shore-based missiles, advanced radars, maritime patrol aircraft, and a growing fleet of surveillance drones. The overarching goal is clear: make Philippine waters so well defended that any adversary would face steep costs, all achieved at just a fraction of the F-16's price tag. This marks a decisive shift away from expensive prestige projects toward practical, sustainable defense solutions that can be maintained and upgraded over time. The Philippines now aims to build a military force uniquely tailored to its own geography and security needs, rather than simply trying to mirror the capabilities of major world powers. It's a strategic pivot toward greater resilience, independence, and self-reliance for the nation's future. The Philippine decision reflects a global shift in arms buying. Nations now demand partnerships, technology transfer, and local production, not just hardware. This drive for autonomy and economic benefit is reshaping the arms market. Countries like India and Turkey lead the way. The Philippines is joining them. Competition is fierce, with new suppliers offering flexible terms and affordable systems. Buyers can walk away from deals that don't fit their needs, just as Manila did. Successful deals now hinge on price, support, and industrial cooperation, not just technology. The F-16 rejection is a warning. Even the best tech can be turned down if the deal isn't right. The F-16 rejection defines the emerging Marcos doctrine: self-reliance and strategic independence. The new policy prioritizes cost-effective, asymmetric defense over prestige projects. The focus is on coastal defense, drones, and affordable multi-role aircraft, smart defense for a developing nation. Local industry is key. Future deals must include Filipino participation and job creation. The alliance with the U.S. remains vital, but Manila is now a more discerning, equal partner. The move wasn't anti-U.S., but a bold assertion of Philippine agency and priorities. The goal: a credible, Filipino-led defense posture for the future. Rejecting the F-16s sets the Philippines on a new, uncertain path, signaling a significant shift in its defense strategy and international posture. This decision is more than just about hardware. It's about redefining national priorities and the country's role in the region. In the short term, this move creates a noticeable capability gap, leaving the Air Force with fewer advanced assets. However, over the long run, it opens the door for the Philippines to develop a more resilient, self-sustaining military force. less dependent on foreign suppliers and more focused on homegrown solutions. The U.S. Philippine alliance must now adapt to these changes, emphasizing flexible cooperation, technology sharing, and building foundational capabilities that can withstand future uncertainties. Across Southeast Asia, there's a growing trend. Middle powers are asserting their autonomy, seeking to balance relations with major powers and contributing to a more multipolar regional order. The Philippines aspires to become a strategic swing state, leveraging its unique position to influence regional dynamics, rather than simply acting as a client to larger nations. Achieving this vision will require disciplined defense spending, smart and proactive diplomacy, and a strong commitment to building a robust local defense industry that can support long-term security needs. If Manila's bold gamble pays off, it could fundamentally redefine not only Philippine defense, but also the balance of power and security architecture in the entire region. The world is watching closely, eager to see whether this bold move will ultimately shape the future of Asia and set a precedent for other nations facing similar choices.